One of the things that really annoys me that I see either in carnivore circles or people who, for whatever reason, really object to the carnivore diet is a sort of weird elitism, sort of looking down your nose at people. Look, I'm the first guy who will go into carnivore groups on social media, and when I see people telling people, oh, you might be asking obvious questions in the carnivore group where you're new to this and you want to know how to do the carnivore diet properly. And I'm going to be the guy who will tell you to eat whatever you want. It doesn't matter. If you really want to eat the cheeseburger with the bun, eat it. I'll be the first person to sort of intervene and be like, hey, look, this person clearly wants to know how to do the carnivore diet properly. And you're sabotaging them. You're derailing their efforts. And I've grilled people on this, and they will always deny that they're sabotaging people. But when you really press them, they stop responding because, well, it's obvious that that's what they're doing. But that's not what we're really talking about here. What we're talking about here is this elitist idea, and it shows up in two forms. The first is this idea that if you're a true carnivore, you should only be eating ribeyes, New York strip steaks, and the really expensive, super fatty cuts that are delicious and decadent, or you're not a true carnivore if you ever eat anything besides beef or lamb, or you're not a true carnivore if you eat a lot of ground beef, or you're not a true carnivore if you don't eat your meat nearly raw. I don't understand this. I mean, yes, look, if you do the like blue rare lion diet, for those who don't know what that is, that's you basically scare your cut of beef with a flame. You get a little bit of brown on the outside to take care of any of the bacteria that naturally shows up on beef, and then you eat it basically raw. And there are people who do that. That's not my thing at all. I have zero interest in eating raw beef, but there are people who do it. That's fine. If you're getting the results you want, wonderful, right? There are also people who will tell you that you need to go hyper strict for everything. Look, have you noticed that most carnivore influencers want you to go strict? There's a reason for that. But also most of them will tell you if you're, getting the results you want, then it's fine if you're not going super strict. What do we mean by strict? When they want you to go strict, they want you to eat beef, butter, bacon, eggs, maybe a little fish here and there, and salt. That's about it. You'll see most of us say, yeah, we gave up coffee for reason X, Y, or Z. That's fine. But there are people who will give you a bunch of garbage if you are drinking coffee periodically. You have coffee every day, but you're strict otherwise. I did a video on why I gave up coffee. I gave up coffee. I chose to give up coffee for specific reasons. I don't think you're any less of a carnivore if you still drink coffee. Full disclosure, I am looking forward to going back getting coffee again in the hopefully not too distant future once I've met my goals. And I think most carnivores, when they get to where they want to be on this diet, when they meet their goals, if they're not basically keeping permanent metabolic problems at bay for the rest of their life, if you're just trying to lose weight, or you've got a couple of essentially temporary things that you're trying to fix, once you reach them and once you get to a new happy place, I think most carnivores are going to start adding back in the complex spices, or they're going to start adding back in the coffee or the dairy or whatever it is that they eat that isn't strict carnivore. Most people, I think, want to find themselves in a relaxed carnivore place. And for whatever reason, that really gets some people mad. Don't know why. What you eat is not that big a concern to me, except for information purposes. Like, hey, what's your favorite cut of fatty beef? Let me know in the comments. If you eat something other than ribeyes, let me know in the comments, because I'm going to do a video not too distant future about my favorite cheap fatty cuts of meat, because the ribeye elitists will tell you got to only eat ribeye steaks. Well, that's nice. There are plenty of other cuts of beef out there that have a similar fat to protein ratio that cost a fraction of what a ribeye steak costs. And there's reasons that ribeyes are so expensive. The demand for them is really high, and there aren't that many of them on a cow. Put that together, and you start getting problems. But the other thing that really bugs me are people who are not carnivores, who find this whole thing kind of nutty, and they come in and, compare us to either vegans, whatever, or they compare us, they call it the carnivore diet, a religion. I have a religion. I don't need a second one. I'm not going to make one around food. I do carnivore the way I do, and I am as passionate about it because I was desperate to lose the weight that I had been carrying my whole life. I've done the yo-yo dieting. I've done it all. And this is the only thing I've ever found that is sustainable, easily sustainable. There are people out there who do this who have been dealing with something for their whole lives. They've been dealing with things for their whole lives. They're desperate, and they find something that works, and they get passionate about it. Oh, wow, amazing concept. They get passionate about something that changed their life. If you think that makes, being, restrictive about what they eat because they get results for religion, you're not in the right place. Or maybe you're jealous. Maybe you've had issues that you've been dealing with and you haven't been able to deal with them. You haven't gotten them under control. And so you see people on these various YouTube channels and podcasts and websites and everything else who are passionate about this, who say, hey, you're not getting the results you want. Go stricter, because that's honestly that's just logical. You spend a bunch of time doing this, and you're saying, well, I'm still eating, about once a week. I give myself some berries. Maybe cut those out. Maybe you should cut those out because maybe that's what's holding you back. Or, maybe you're reacting badly to butter, because if you spend enough time in social media groups, you see that some people discover they can't handle butter. They can only do beef, butter, eggs, and then they use tallow to cook with. Or some people, they love their pork, but they can't eat it because it just stops their processes. Whatever. People being passionate about this stuff doesn't make it a religion. Food's a kind of silly thing to make a religion around. Carnivore diet's not a religion. If you find all this amusing, guess what? All you're doing is really wasting your time. Don't care if you thumbs down videos. Guess what? You interacting with that part, I'll tell you, as a YouTuber who's been doing YouTube in various places for a long time now, you will find when you thumbs up or thumbs down a video, it actually helps the channels in general. Don't care if you thumbs down my videos. I can see them. If you want to thumbs down them, actually that lets me know that I'm not doing something right. So I can still see those thumbs down. But the people out there who come into places and try to derail people's progress or make fun of people because they found something that makes them healthier than they've ever been physically, that's a little weird to me. That's really weird, and it tells me that maybe, just maybe, you've got something going on that you need to address for yourself. That maybe instead of trying to derail people, trying to save their lives, trying to make it so they can watch their children and grandchildren grow up, who can be there for all the important milestones in their family's life, who can be there so they can have a normal life, so that the constant pain that they've been in for their whole life can go away. Because this is the only thing they found that works. Making fun of people for that, that's nutty. There's something seriously disordered in that. Maybe you should go look in the mirror and do some introspection. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help channels like this grow. Thanks for watching today.